Hey, what's up guys, it's Faisal here. Welcome back to Driving Site, where I bring you the latest updates and tips on road safety awareness every week. And in this video I'll be covering a few things. How do you know when you're on a smart motorway, and do you know what the sign means? And did you know that there are 3 types of smart motorways? And I'll be covering all of these in this video, so please watch this video till the very end. And if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing, and don't forget to turn the notification on so you don't miss out on the future content. Okay, so let's look at how do you know when you're on a smart motorway. So basically, as you know that on the motorways we have blue backgrounds with all the directions and information signs. You get a blue background. So just as you're joining, whether it's a slip road or you're on the main carriageway, you will actually see a blue background sign saying variable speed limit with the camera sign. That is the sign confirming that we are now joining or on the smart motorway. Okay, so basically from this point onwards you need to be ready for variable speed limit. Variable speed limit can go down from national speed limit all the way down to 40 miles per hour. So 70, 60, 50, 40 can go all the way back to 70 miles per hour again. Now, if you ever see a 20 miles per hour or a 30 miles per hour speed limit above on the gantry, please do take extra care, because it's something serious. It's usually pedestrians, or it could be that a driver is driving towards you in the wrong direction. So please do take extra care, because 20 and 30 miles per hour speed limits are overridden by Highways England. So the operatives in the control center, they've actually overridden the system. So please be aware about that. Now, the speed limit, variable speed limit on the smart motorways, they are absolutely maximum, because they come inside the red circle, which means we must not exceed the speed limit. Okay, so therefore we have to comply with the variable speed limit. On the traditional motorway you can get advisory speed limits. It's usually with flashing amber lights top to bottom with a number in there. That means it's advisory. But on the smart motorways it's mandatory signs, and we need to comply with them. Okay, so therefore please keep an eye on those matrix signs above the lane, or you can get the new sign as well. They have Highways England have introduced a big sign which is called MS4. There are a few on the M25. I've seen a few on the M1 as well. One big signs with the speed limit, and also they can give you other additional information as well. And I think they're very good, you know, from the gantry, because on the gantry you just get the speed limit, but on the MS4 you get the speed limit, and you also get the message why they have reduced the speed limit. So for example, if there was a broken down vehicle in lane number 2 and they've closed lane 1 and 2, so they'll be explaining everything on that MS4 sign. So that's the variable speed limit. Now the other thing is that we have to be very careful with closed lanes. From 10th of June this year, 2019, police can actually issue a ticket to anyone driving through a closed lane. How do you know a lane is closed? It's usually Highways England. They'll put a red X on the gantry or on the MS4 sign. So a red X means a lane is closed. Now before they actually close the lane and give us the red X, you will get enough warning. So what usually happens is that you'll get arrows. So if you need to move out to the right, so if they're closing lane number 1 and they want us to move into lane number 2 or other lanes on the right, then they will give us arrows on the gantry saying, you know, move to the right. Or, you know, if they are closing lanes on the right, then they'll be giving us the arrows to move back to the left. So well before you get to the red X, they will give us enough warning. So please make sure you follow the arrows and move out of that lane nice and early, and not leave it very late, so that you are pushed through to get through that red X. So how do you know a lane is closed? Always remember, they will put a red X above the lane. That means that lane is closed and we must not drive. So, you know, if you do go through that point, you are risking 3 points and £100 fine minimum. So please move out of that lane. Okay, now also we need to understand there are 3 types of smart motorways. Did you know that we have 3 types of smart motorways? One of the smart motorways is called a control smart motorway or managed smart motorways, which means the hard shoulder has not been converted into a smart motorway. So the hard shoulder, which was there since they built it, it's always going to be an emergency lane. When we break down or in case of a crash, we use that lane. So we never drive on that hard shoulder when it is control or a you know, managed smart motorway. So be aware and don't go into that hard shoulder on the Control Smart motorways. Then you have the second version, which is called a dynamic hard shoulder, and it will be clearly displayed on the gantry above. A dynamic hard shoulder is the one that where when it's very busy, the Highways England will allow us to use that hard shoulder to maximize the traffic flow. So that means they will explain to us on the gantry saying use the hard shoulder for normal driving. So if that's the case, then follow the instruction and we can go into that hard shoulder just to keep the traffic flowing. Okay, so a dynamic hard shoulder is the one when it's very busy, they will allow us to go in there to drive for normal driving, and when it's quiet or when that lane is not needed, they will explain to us that that lane is only for emergency. So you must have come across the sign where they say emergency use only. Okay, so you have Control Smart motorway and dynamic hard shoulder smart motorway, and the very latest one is called the ALR All Running Lane smart motorways. So the very last one that became active is the M3 for about 7 miles. You have all running lane smart motorways. So the hard shoulder, which used to be on hard shoulder all this time, but now they have converted that lane and made it into a live lane. So instead of 3 lane, you have 4 lane running all the time, 24 hours a day. So that means there is no hard shoulder. Now that brings us to the next problem. What are you going to do if you break down, which I will cover in the next video, how we're going to deal with the emergency situations and breakdowns on smart motorways, because ALR all running lane, they don't have a hard shoulder. Now remember, the main point of smart motorways is to keep the traffic flow and stop drivers braking sharply, which is one of the biggest cause for phantom traffic jam. So therefore it's very important that we understand and reduce the speed limit correctly. Now if you are driving and suddenly the speed limit changes from 70 miles per hour to 60 miles per hour, please don't panic and brake sharply just to go to 60 miles per hour. Highways England have confirmed, when I made the visit in Highways England in South Mills very recently, they have confirmed that when the speed limit changes, so from 70 to 60 or 60 to 50, as the speed limit changes, the camera is switched off for 60 seconds. So what they don't want you to do is brake sharp. That's the last thing that they want us to do, because which is going to add more traffic and it's going to have more phantom traffic jam. So there's no need to brake sharp. Don't panic, just ease off your gas and just slowly pass through that gantry, but hopefully you should be able to slow down for the next gantry. That is the main aim, is to just gradually keep moving, keep the traffic flow. That is the main objective of smart motorways, avoiding stop start. Okay, so there's no need to panic for that. And just a quick recap on this video here basically. So what is the speed limit on smart motorways? You need to get that in your mind and set that as a variable speed limit. Variable speed limit is applied on smart motorways. So we need to forget about the national speed limit, which is 70 miles per hour. So it's variable speed limit. Once you enter variable speed limit, you are going to be ready for the changes and the lanes opening and closing. Okay, and of course, how do you know a lane is closed? There will be a red X above that lane, but well before that they will give us arrows to move out of that lane, so we don't drive through a closed lane. And of course there are 3 types of smart motorways, so look out for them. Control smart motorways, where we never go into the hard shoulder, it's always an emergency lane. A dynamic hard shoulder is the one when it's very busy, just to keep the traffic flow. They will ask us to go in there, and when they don't want us to go in there, the message will be above saying don't go in there, it's only for emergency. And the latest one is the ALR All Running Lane smart motorways, which means 24 hours a day we can drive in that hard shoulder. Basically there is no hard shoulder, every lane is a live running lane. That's all I have for you today, and if you like this video, please give me that thumbs up and don't forget to share and comment down below please. Any questions you have, just comment down below, and next video I will be talking about how to use use the smart motorways when we break down and in case of emergency. Okay, and don't forget to share this video, and until next week, use the road safely. Thank you, bye for now.